Good evening, race fans. Welcome to another fantastic presentation of the Sim Racing Network. Tonight, we bring you the Hitman Race Gear Xfinity Racewear. Sorry, I'll get this right eventually. Racewear Xfinity Series for the Sim500 group. Sunday night series is a fun series. Tonight they're at Auto Club Speedway, and in the booth with me, special guest who has the title, I guess, would be the most unique name in the booth so far. It's Gael Brooks. How you doing, Gael?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me on here. I'll say just filling in for Don Runkle. Hopefully he'll be feeling better soon. Hope to hear him back in the booth as well, but looking forward to the opportunity to try something new here.
Well, that's right. You said it. Uncle Runkle's out tonight, not feeling well. He says he's under the weather. I think he probably did a little too much partying last night and is still paying for it. But that's neither here nor there. We're doing qualifying right now at this fun, beautiful 2.0 mile track, D-shaped oval. It's kind of like the twin sister, if you would, of Michigan International Raceway, one of my favorite ones on the circuit. How about you, Gail? What do you think about Auto Club Speedway?
It's a great track. I've been trying to do some practice races with it earlier, and you've got lots of room to work with. Just got to see where the grip is, and everybody's got room to move. And so that's what's nice about it. If you got someone blocking your way, go somewhere else and see if you can find a way around them.
You're right. It's an absolutely huge track, very wide, a lot of racing room on here. And like you, I spent some time in the Be Fixed League series on iRacing trying to get some info on this race, how it was going to go. We talked about this pre-race, that's one tight setup they've got. But the difference is in the weekly series, they were running daytime. This is going to be at night. Temperature's only 77 degrees on track right now. That could play into giving these guys a little bit more grip. So I tell you what, I'm looking forward to it. And, these guys just have a tendency to make a fixed setup look easy, don't they?
They really do. I'll say, especially in Sim500, I'll say they've kind of hurt my ego a little bit when I've been racing with them. But I've definitely noticed that, yeah, off of two, I think is going to be where they're going to have to be careful because it's really easy to just let it slide up there and hit the wall off two. So I think that might be a place to keep an eye out for them. But yeah, I think with the cooler temperatures, I think that's going to keep them a little lower during the race today, though, or tonight, I should say.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, as we've all seen, lower temperatures equal a little bit more grip on here, so we might see some great racing as far as speed goes. Right now, we're looking at qualifying. Chad Coleman sits on the pole at the moment with about 30 seconds left in qualifying with a 40.740. That's hauling the mail right there, but it's not over with yet. And as we saw last week, somebody can always sneak in here at the last second and take that pole away from you. In the meantime, folks, quick reminder of our triple threat broadcasting. You can find us on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Just search the Sim Racing Network. Hit us up, give us a like and a follow. You'll get notifications of when we go live. That way you won't miss a second of the action. And speaking of action tonight, how long do you think, Gael, it's going to take till we see guys going 5 wide coming down that tri-oval?
I'm thinking it's going to happen pretty early on, especially off of two. I think that's where we're going to see them start splitting up. As I know it's tempting to jump early. These cars don't pull as much of a draft as the Cup cars with the new package do, so it'll be definitely interesting to see how they jump around. But hopefully they'll mind their P's and Q's to start off with, and then go after it as things spread out a little bit.
Well, it looks like qualifying has concluded. Chad Coleman is our pole sitter. Let's go through our quick top 10 here. We got Chad Coleman on pole, Cody Welch outside of him in second spot.
So in third and fourth and second row, we've got Chris Jabu and then Scott Simley around in the fourth position.
Inside row 3, Jordan Hightower in that 22. To his outside, bad Chad Cole in that 82 car in sixth place.
And in seventh place, we got Doy Woods, and then you've got Steph Marinak right next to him in eighth position.
Inside row 5, Dwayne Vincent. Rounding out our top 10, Dave Comstock. I'll tell you what, Comstock is one to keep your eye on, Gael. I don't know if you've been watching many of these races, but this guy is sneaky. He hangs around there in the top 10 most of the race and takes care of his tires, and next thing you know, boom, he's in the lead. But we'll keep our eye on him tonight. Folks, this is going to be an 80-lap event. We look for a fuel/tire window somewhere between 40 and 48 laps. Now, I don't know how it's going to go tonight with the night temps, but during my runs during the week, the tires saw anywhere between 2 to 3 second fall off on a long run there, Gael.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, tires are going to be huge here. If you can take care of them to start off the run, you might lose a couple spots at the beginning, but I think that's where it's going to pay dividends towards the end of the run. That's what I've seen. Like you mentioned with the Comstock, that's where he excels. He can just save his tires, and then once it's time to really go after him in that second half of a run, that's where he makes up a lot of time.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we all know that there's no such thing as tire treatment in iRacing, but man, sometimes that's what it looks like with him. It's like he's got some treated tires on there because, we can go 35 laps and everybody's like slower than snails. Except here comes Comstock boogieing down, past people up left and right. Well, here we go, folks. We're about to line them up on track and go green here in about a lap or so. So hang tight, buckle up. And I tell you what, a car to watch. We already talked about him, David Comstock in that 42. But behind him, starting inside of row 6, is Byron Daly. He is currently our points leader. He's got a couple of wins so far. I believe, let me just check on that real quick, but I believe he's got exactly two wins. 2 wins. I've got my mind on food right now, man. I'm about to do some homemade buffalo wings this week again, and they're so tasty. I digress, though. We warned you about this guy, El. My mind is all over the place when he's broadcast.
I mean, it's about that time, so I can't blame you there.
In the meantime, folks, we've got them stacked up 2 by 2 on track. Pace cars lights are off, and we're going to be going green here shortly as they come through 3 and 4 here in a little bit. And there's beautiful paint jobs out there on the track. If you notice that car number 1 down there inside of row 2, that's Chris Cabot in the 1 car. He is sponsored by the Series League sponsor, Hitman. That's a beautiful green paint job on that car. Up in front of him, we got the JDR car of Chad Coleman on the pole. To his outside, Cody Welch, that 85 car. That's one that I did, actually, believe it or not. He came to me one day, said he wanted something patriotic, red, white, and blue, to go with his sponsorship of the Union guys there. So I whipped that up for him. I love these paints. We got the Valvoline throwback back there. In the meantime, pace car is off, folks. Here we go. Green flag is out, and we are off to racing. Boy, they're just taking their time getting up to the gears right there. There goes Coleman. Good jump on the inside. He's out to about a 2-car length lead, come across the line. He's got Cody Welch right there behind him in second, and behind him, they're fighting 2 by 2, pretty much from third on back.
Yeah, they're not going too crazy. Yes, I think they are trying to mind their P's and Q's to begin with, but you never know when and where it's going to happen. So we'll see how they get out of through 2 here.
I'm sure you folks saw it, but Scott Simley's blinking in and out right now. His internet looks like it might be going south on him. He's in and out real bad right now, but in the meantime, he does push his car up through the field. I just completely lost him right there. He keeps disappearing on me, so I'm going to have to go up to somebody in front of him so we can see what's going on. But like I said, Chad Coleman is out to a pretty good lead. He's got Cody Welch in the 85 right there in second. Simley is sometimes in third, sometimes he's gone. Behind him is Chris Cabot in the 1 car. And look at this, they got 22 cars up there also. Jordan Hightower making a good fight for this.
It's looking good here on the backstretch. They're starting to spread out like you talked about, going 3 wide here on the backstretch. They decide better of it, though, go double file back, entering 3, though.
In the meantime, we got one really awesome 2 by 2 fight back here. Dwayne Vincent on the outside. He's got, I can't even tell who that is for that haze right there.
It's like Byron Daly in the 06.
Yeah, Byron Daly right there. They're kind of just, that outside lane, it was pretty quick for me. I don't know about you, Gaio. It was where I preferred to be for about 5 laps on in the run. During the first few laps, of course, the inside was fastest, but I found that the tires wore down. My car just handled a lot better mid to high going through these turns.
Yeah, I had the same thing. You'd feel a really nice exit, especially off of 2. You could get that nice momentum around. And so if you could stay on the quarter panel of the car in front of you, you could definitely get a good run on the back and hopefully try to clear him entering 3.
And with this fixed setup, I found that getting out of the throttle a lot sooner than I normally would going down into 1 and 3 really helped the car turn to the middle of the turn as well.
Yeah, I didn't use a lot of brake. It's the same thing, just let it roll and say, like you said, you have to wait on it, but then once you got on, you just had to make sure you didn't jump on it too soon.
And we talked about Comstock at the top of the show, and he has fallen back just 1 spot right now. But that's his MO. He just takes it real easy on those tires of his, and in the hopes that this goes to a long green flag run. But we've also seen him in the past be really, really strong on short runs when he wants to be. He can be very aggressive and put that car anywhere in the field he wants to. Right now, he's fighting with Vincent for 10th. It looks like he's going to take that 10th spot away from Dwayne Vincent and move him back to 11th. Behind them, we've got Mike Grandy in that 92 car. He's going to have his hands full with the 14 of Joey Jatina right now. Jatina started 15th. He's already made up a couple of spots on the field. Behind these two, though, we've got a really big fight between the 39 and the 2 of Mike Kelly. That's Daniel Falkingham down there on the inside with the 39 car. Behind them is the 10 car of Dan Denayer. Dan Denayer looking to turn his luck around. This guy, if there was an award for bad luck, he'd have taken it pretty much every week since I started these broadcasts. He's always caught up in somebody else's mess. He's looking pretty good, fighting his way into a top 15 right now. Back here, though, it's just a big scrum there, Gael, all the way from Joey Jatina's car, 14 and 13th place right there on back.
That's exactly where I was looking actually right now. I was with the 25 as well as the 6 of Jonathan Lockhart. There's just a little gaggle right there, and they're really thinking about going 3 wide. But again, they thought better, but it's early on. But yeah, that's a big pile of cars right there. Easily to have something happen right there with them.
Oh, yeah, you blink, make a mistake in the wrong spot, and you're taking at least 7 or 8 cars out with you right there. But you're right, it's a little early for us to be seeing 3 wide, but I guarantee you towards the latter half of this race, as it gets winding down to the end, we'll definitely see 3, 4, maybe even 5 wide, like right here, 3 wide coming through the trioval. This is the place for it, though. Get you some speed on the outside, maybe cut down on the inside, try and pinch somebody off a little bit there, but you'll see them fan out going through that trioval, then all get narrowed back up going down to the turns right here, except for right there, the 5 car makes it 3 wide. Denayer gets up and has to back out before he plows into the 25 right there. But they all keep it straight, and we're still 3 wide coming off of turn 2.
Well, like I said, you never know what's going to happen. Looks like they decided it was time to step it up a little bit. Maybe they feel like someone's holding up their pace a little bit, so got to get that little bit more aggression.
In the meantime, back up front, Chad Coleman's got himself a pretty decent little lead there. It looked like Cody Welch had caught up to him for a little while there, but Cody kind of backed off a little bit, and we're pretty much single file, it looks like, all the way back to, I think our first fight position is going to be the 7th place. That's Chris Cabot trying to get in front. I'm sorry, he just got passed by Byron Daly, excuse me. They're on the outside in the 06. Daly's moving his way up and looking to add his another win to his belt. He's got a couple already this season, but look behind here. We've got Comstock. He's already made a move up. He was 10th a lap ago. Now he's working his way up into 9th. Maybe he has his sights set on breaking up to the lead there.
Yeah, so like you said, they're definitely getting single file, but like we talked about, get a couple laps in here, and here he comes. Comstock moving his way towards the front. And then saying, like you said, they've really single filed out though through most of the field. It looks like until you get about to EJ O'Rourke, that's where they're still running double file. But for the most part, though, they've definitely strung out a little bit here.
Yeah, I've been watching Cody Welch last couple of laps. I think he's just kind of keeping an eye on the 20 there. He's not letting him get too far ahead of him, but at the same time, he's not letting there get to be too much of a gap. It's been between 2 and 4/10 of a second for the last few laps. I'm wondering if he's not just gauging up, Coleman there, seeing where a good spot would be to try to pass him at.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I mean, you see him right now; they're all dropping to the bottom, but he's staying right in his groove, just doing his own thing right now. And I mean, it looks like he's going a little faster than Coleman right now. He's about just under a 10th faster that last lap.
Yeah, that last time by, he was a little bit faster, but look at that. We got a car, what is that? Steph Marinac was the fastest car on the track right there on that last lap by about a 10th and a half, it looks like. So you got a lot of different lines being used already in this race. Myself, I would always run mid to line through the turns, but I love just running the high line come through the trioval. I don't know what it is about it. To me, up there, it felt like I kept more of my speed coming down that front stretch than the guys who would duck way down there to the inside did. That's what it felt like to me. I don't know. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah, when I would run the bottom, for me at least personally, I felt like I would wash up a lot more. So the best way for me was I would get that late apex, but it's really risky to do because if you got someone right on you, they'd try to jump right under you.
Well, that, and when they get right behind you coming off of 4, it makes that car real squirrely. Like your car will get extremely loose, but their car gets extremely tight if you got somebody that's tucked up right underneath your bumper coming off of 4.
I know you mentioned him earlier, but like you were saying, Daniel Falkingham, he's made a lot of ground right now. He's already up to 12th, starting 22nd, so he's And it's saying it looks like he's trying to work on Dwayne Vincent at the moment as well. So he's definitely charging up to the front as well from a 22nd starting spot.
That's absolutely correct. He's made up 11 spots. He is so far our highest climber on the field. We've seen a bunch of them these last few weeks there, Gael. We had guys that came from 39th, I think it was, to win the race. I believe that's Comstock. So these guys are no strangers to making passes on the track. But we have noticed that the bane of the... Look at this car by Chris Gibu, way out of shape right there. Saves it and stays green, but man, I don't think you could get much more sideways than that. And it looks like he just came down and got under the nose of the 92. It's hard to tell from this angle, but I can't even tell if there was any actually any contact there. It was Mike Grandy, that 92.
That was a close... No, yeah, it looks like they just touched right front to left rear, just a teeny bit entering three. And I mean, it doesn't take much to get these things loose. And really good job saving it there by Chris Cabu.
Absolutely fantastic job. And like you said, it does not take much. They're so light right there. As they unload going down into the turn right there, a touch is all it really takes. But Gaveau kept it clean and green there. I mean, that's a great save. In the meantime, Jatina took advantage of that, and he gained one spot on the 92, looking to make another spot, take another spot, from Chris Gaveau on the one down on the inside there, coming through the trial. But he might be able to clear him going down to the one. The hard part, though, is if he doesn't clear him, making sure he doesn't wash up into him coming out of two.
Yeah, and that's the danger when you get under somebody, is just you don't have the nose under you like you want. You really need that whole, as wide as this track is, you still want every inch of it. And actually right there, like I mentioned off of turn 2 there, you had the 92 off the wall to Mike Grandy.
Yeah, Grandy is not having a very good night right now. He's got substantial right side damage now, bouncing it off the wall. But we're going to move Jatina up one more spot to 13th place. He's looking pretty strong right now. He's just got to keep and maintain his focus and not let things get out of his hand there. In the meantime, in front of him, the 13 of Dwayne Vincent. Dwayne started 9th. He's fallen back a couple spots, but looks to be making that ground back up. We've already touched on Daniel Falkingham. He started way back there in 22nd spot. He's now up to 10th. In front of him, Doy Woods is in 9th. Comstock is up to 8th. Looking to maybe pass up to 22 here shortly. That's Jordan Hightower. And maybe gain that spot. But meanwhile, back up front, it's still the Chad Coleman show. He has not really gained any ground on the 85. As a matter of fact, we got a fight for second spot as the 85. He's got the 12 of Scott Simley down there on his inside. Simley clears him, and I believe we're going to move Simley up to second and Welch back to third.
Yeah, but it looks like Chad Cole's trying to follow along there, just saving. I think he's pretty good with his tires as well, so it may have been that Cody Welch may have been just using his stuff just a little too much, and that might be where these guys are able to pounce a little bit here.
That's what it looks like, but I tell you what, Simley's not quite free of Welch in that 85 just yet. Right on his back bumper going down the backstretch, still trying to put a fight up to that second spot. He wants it back, dives down to the inside of turn 3, looking to try and take that spot back away from Simley. In the meantime, I believe Coleman's like, I'm going to let these two duke it out and see what happens here. I don't want to get up in the middle. The Simley gets into the outside wall and is going to lose a lot of momentum, probably 3 or 4 spots because of that. Momentum is such a huge thing here at Auto Club Speedway, Gael, and that's one thing you don't want to do is throw it in the wall like that.
Yeah, no, that was a costly one. It looks like he's leveled out right around Comstock, around 8th or so. But yeah, that's from 2nd to 8th with just that one little mistake. It doesn't take much with these cars, and like I said, as tight as this field is, yeah, that's a tough one.
Well, that's the thing about racing these fixed setup leagues is everybody's got the same setup, so it's really how well you're able to wrangle your car and make it work and like we've said many times, save your stuff and stay off the wall would help a lot too. But back up front here, we've got a caution on track. Let's see where it's at. Oh, it's the 92 car again. I tell you what, his night's just gone from bad to worse here, it looks like. Let's see what happened here. It looks like he had a little help there. He got touched by the 30 that was down on his inside. He spun out and collected another car with him. And several cars had to duck down pit road just to miss him. And let's see, that was a 36 car was involved. And then along came, oh goodness, what a hit right there.
Yeah, it looks like the 30 of Brian Macklin got into the 92, and unfortunately the 36 just had nowhere to go.
And Brad Collins, the 67, came down and just T-boned the 92 right there. He had nowhere to go. He'd already committed to the bottom there, so it looks like his night's going to be a little messed up. He's got some substantial front end damage. So, folks, that gives us our first caution on lap 18. And I'm pretty sure that right about now we're going to see a bunch of folks come down pit road and take 4 tires of fuel. Now, I was saying earlier and didn't get a chance to finish it, but pit road has been the bane of existence for these drivers here in the Sim500. We've seen leaders give up the lead and lose the race due to sliding or speeding in pit road. So let's see what happens here. We're going to let these guys duck in pit road, and we're just going to go quiet for a few seconds and watch the fun. How's that sound, Gael?
That sounds good. Let's see what these guys can do here.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, I don't know if you were watching that, but the 23 made his first mistake on pit road right there. Josh Parker completely drove through his pits. That's going to cost him. He's going to have to pit now. I'm guessing he has to pit, if he doesn't want to get completely off cycle with these guys, but drove right past his pits, unfortunately. That's a problem with, so many cars on track at one time there coming in under yellow. You lose sight of your pit box there, Gael, and that's what happened to him.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on when a lot of cars, a lot of pit boards, and I can't say I haven't done it myself, but I'll say Chad Coleman was able to hold his spot off the pits, and looks like Chad Cole's able to gain some spots as well. He's up to third now. 14.2 second pit stop, so pretty good there. Looks about one of the quickest ones of the group on this stop here.
Well, what's really unfortunate about that thing with Josh Parker, he was running pretty decently, but now he's going to restart 35th on the field. We started this race with 36 cars. There's still 35 of them on the lead lap. Unfortunately, Rich Jett, who has retired his vehicle, he was involved in that earlier incident. And then to make matters worse, Parker slides through his pits. Talk about a guy whose night's going from bad to worse right there. But there you go, folks. Chad Coleman comes out first. Cody Welch second. Chad Cole third. Byron Daly fourth. And Jordan Hightower rounds out your top 5. And I believe the lights are off on our pace car. And we got the one to go here, Gael.
Yep, they're ready to go already. I don't think there was any lapped cars, so it was a pretty quick yellow here. And I'll say they'll get back to the excitement here in just a minute.
As I was saying at the top of the show, Byron Daly does have 2 wins here. He won at Atlanta a couple weeks back and then won last week at ISM. So he's doing pretty good. Daniel Falkingham won the season opener at Daytona, and Steph Marinac won over there at Vegas. So that's been the 4 races we've had so far. This being race number 5 out of the schedule. And folks, if you haven't gotten into iRacing, the best thing for you to do would be to go to iRacing.com and check it out and see what's good for you. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
Looks like everybody's lined up here. Pace cars coming off of 4. It looks like everybody's lined up pretty well in the back. There's a few cars still trying to catch up to the end of the line, but I think they're going to be all right.
And the pace car ducks off, and we're about to go back to green here. And look at this. Coleman's playing his game again. He's not going to take off too early. He's going to see if he can maybe get a good jump here. He gets a decent start right there, but not as big a jump this time, Gael, as he did that first start of the race. So here we are, lap 21, going back to green. Coleman's still out front. Welch is on the second spot, but he's up there in the high spot. Cole, down low, is looking to try and make a play for that second spot, it looks like.
Yeah, new tires, the bottom's where you need to be, so if he can get some drafting help, although it looks like there's temptation for 3 wide there, so we'll see what happens here.
We know another caution on track.
We've got a big wreck towards the back of the field here.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge wreck. We got the 25 involved. That's Brian Chambliss. Let's see who else is involved here. Looks like Randy Yoakum. Oh, they had a slow car down low, and it looks like...
yeah, it looks like Randy slid up into the 25.
I see what happened there. Dan Denaire in the 10 got real loose on the apron there and checked up, and when he did that, everybody behind him just kind of bottlenecked, and that was a chain reaction thing between the 8 car of Yoakum and 25. 25 wound up kind of worse for wear on that one.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Just a quick reaction, like you said, split-second decisions. Unfortunately, doesn't always end well, and there was a lot of cars involved in that one.
Absolutely. So we're going to rack them and stack them one more time, folks. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break and catch our breath a little bit here. We're going to leave it on corner to corner so you don't miss anything in case anybody decides to duck down pit road. But remember, we'll be right back in a few seconds here, and go grab yourselves a beer or something. We'll be right back.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Arsenic, poison.
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And welcome back to the Sim Racing Network's presentation of the Hitman Race Gear Xfinity series on the Sim Racing Network. And I screwed that up again, didn't I?
It's one of those tongue twisters, right? Race gear, racewear.
I mean, really, you know, it's like, never mind. Anyway, Nick Timms, if you're watching, dude, I am sorry. I will get this right someday, I promise you. Anyway, we were talking under caution there, folks. A lot of folks pitted, starting with Doy.
Yeah,
Woods,
Doy Woods and the 07.
Mike Kelly, Joey Jatin, all those guys all came in for tires. And we were also looking at Coleman, our leader, was clutching it through the turn. So there might be some thoughts about going maybe one more pit stop on this race.
Yeah, I'd say it's weird, but for whatever reason, this track seems to a lot of times comes down to a fuel mileage situation, and I'm thinking they're just trying to cover their bases, or maybe even just try to get a little bit of a strategy, maybe pit late, catch a timely caution. I mean, you saw what happened in the race today in the Monster Energy Cup Series, timely caution, and you never know how it could end up. But yeah, there's definitely some serious fuel saving going on.
Look, about today's race, I'm going to say this and let it go, but I don't think that caution had anything to do with Kyle Busch winning. He was going to win that race regardless. I just think that it sped up his return to the front.
He definitely had a fast car. He could.
He was.
I don't think you'll see it
today.
tonight, but they were. That thing was rim riding very well.
It really was. Well, here we go, folks. The lights are off on the pace car, and we've been watching Coleman. He's definitely trying to save fuel down there, Gael. So I'm thinking that's exactly what his plan. We know he can't go all the way on the fuel he has right now, but he can get pretty damn close. I think that's what he's planning on here. Is if this thing goes green all the way, he wants to do it on one last stop. So here we go. We're going to stack them back up. Lights are off on our pace car. They're stacked up 2 by 2. To his outside, he's got Cody Welch in that 85. Behind him, he's got Chad Cole in the 82, Byron Daly in 4th, Jordan Hightower in 5th. That's your top 5. The rest of the grid's going to scroll by on your screen there, folks. I want to give a shout out to Ben Kilcrease. He's up there watching them boys sling mud in Columbus, Mississippi for the United Sprint Car Series. Excuse me. Down on our van tonight, the production van, is Aaron Groskopf. Aaron is doing a fantastic job bringing you folks these pictures. Mitch Rollo's out there somewhere slapping a hockey puck around an ice rink, I do believe. So you guys were thinking about you. And I'll tell you what, hockey, what a sport, huh, Gaio?
A little too cold for my taste, being in Arizona here.
I actually used to play a little bit of semi-pro hockey. No, not semi-pro. It was neighborhood pickup hockey, actually. But down here in Lafayette, Louisiana, we used to have a semi-pro team, is what I was going to say. And we had an ice rink down here where we'd all go and practice with those guys every once in a while. But anyway, I digress. We're not talking hockey. We're talking NASCAR. We're going back to green here. And Coleman's waiting for that pace car to duck on out of his way. And what he's done these last 2 starts is just kind of woe the field up a little bit and at the last moment punch it. And that looks like what he's going to do right now. And off he goes. But look at that Coleman behind him. I'm sorry, Cole in the I get these two confused. And the 82 car gets a great start right there on the bumper of Coleman, and that 20 Cody Welch on the outside kind of got a bad start. That's going to allow 06 of Daly down there on the inside of him to jump up in there in 3rd. But boy, I tell you what, that 82 car got one hell of a start. He's all over the back bumper of our leader, Chad Coleman.
Yeah, he was ready for that one, and Byron Daly's trying to take advantage as well and get around Cody Welch as well. Thought he might try to help push him around, but instead he decided to try to grab a stop for himself, which it looks like he was able to do, although it's looking pretty close there.
Well, Welch is on the preferred line on the outside, but I'll tell you what, man, Coleman slammed the door on Cole just now coming through 3 and 4. Cole looked like he wanted to peek down the inside, and Coleman said, no, sir, no deliveries down here. Thank you very much. So we still have them 1 and 2 up front. That's Coleman in the lead, Chad Cole in 2nd. Daly still fighting Cody Welch back there in for 3rd place. And now we've got the 15 car poking his nose in this fight. That's going to be Steph Marinac, another former winner of this series. So now we basically have a 4-way fight for 2nd place because Daly has gotten past Welch in the 85, and he's now working down there on the 82 car. I can't help but wonder if maybe Cole didn't burn some tires up there on that restart.
It's possible, and like it said, it doesn't take much for just a small mistake, and someone's going to jump all over you. So you got to be inch perfect with these guys of this league. They don't mess around.
No, they don't. Man, I just can't get over this fight behind them. And look at how close Daly got there to the back bumper of Coleman, our leader. And I mean, they're not messing around out here. You think it was the last lap the way they're all dicing it up out there.
Yeah, I wonder if they're taking advantage of the new tires while they've got them, and then once it spreads out a little bit, then that's where maybe it's a little bit tougher to pass with that momentum. So maybe just get in what they can while they can, and then try to see what they can do from there on. But yeah, he's looking up top, though.
Oh, yes, he is. Look at this move by Daly coming down through the tribal, whips it out to the outside there. And that's a pretty good way to try and get around somebody. If he can get through this turn the right way on that outside line, make it work for him. But look at, surging back on the outside as we come off the exit there to 2. That's going to carry some momentum for him down this backstretch here, and he's going to allow him to pull alongside of that 20 car of Chad Coleman going down into 3 right here, Gaio.
Yeah, I'm saying right behind him, they're not happy with where they're sitting too. They're going 3 wide entering 3 there. Looks like they're able to get through it all right, but that was close as well with Comstock and then Falkingham and Fuller, I believe.
No, good. I didn't mean to cut you off, but man, the 20 just slid right up in front of Daly coming off a 4 right there to kind of break that momentum up a little bit. But Daly's still on the outside. Now he's got a little bit of drafting help from the 82 of Chad Cole. And behind Cole, Steph Marinac's moved up in the 3rd spot. And I'll tell you what, oh, look at that. He just barely clears the 06 of Daly coming off of 1 and 2 right there onto the backstretch. So Coleman keeps his lead for now, but my goodness, those two have been wearing their tires out for the last couple of laps.
Yeah, this is looking like it might end in tears, I'm afraid. They're going after it pretty hard right now.
End in tears it might do. It's not a surprise at all when that happens. These guys cut each other no slack at all. Look at it. Daly is still all over the back bumper of Coleman. He really, really wants that lead right now. Thought about ducking down the inside of the tri-oval, thought better of it, and then ducked back out to the outside. And he's going to try this outside maneuver one more time, Gael.
Yeah, and then while you're talking about it, Steph Marinak's looking under Chad Cole, try to get third place, and he might have a say in who's going to get that push to get the lead.
Now, see, if I'm Comstock sitting back here watching all this go on in 5th place, man, he's got to be loving this. These guys are just destroying their tires, and all he has to do is just take care of his car a couple more laps, and he'll be able to take over that lead, I do believe.
Yeah, I say we already talked about he was good with his tires. I say when you got guys in front fighting for it, makes it that much easier for you.
And we're on board with Comstock as he watches this 4-way fight for the lead up in front of him. And Daly is back on that outside groove there, Gael, trying to get that lead away from the 20 of Chad Coleman. And, I mean, he is working the outside like nobody's business right now.
Yeah, so I'm guessing Comstock's not looking too much at enjoying the view, but at the same time, though, it's definitely something going on. Although, here you got the 39 there of
Falkingham.
Daniel Falkingham. Yeah. He's making his way forward. Like we said, 22nd now. He's up to the top 5.
Yeah, but again, that's Comstock's MO. He's probably going to let Falkingham go and just take care of his tires, not fighting too hard right now. Meantime, still up front, still fighting. Daly, 06, 20, Chad Coleman. And now Steph Marinak in that 15 car, a 3-way fight for the lead. And Coleman's doing everything he can to hang on to it.
Like you said, they're going like it's the last lap. I don't know if it's for clean air or what's going on, but these guys, they're not going to settle for where they're sitting.
And this time Daly makes the move on the inside, and he takes the lead, slides up in front of Coleman in the 20. Coleman comes back down under him, going through the tri-oval to try and wrestle that lead back from him. Marinak doesn't know which way to go. Coming across the line, give it to Daly that time in the 06, new leader, but for how long? Going back down to turn 1. Coleman looking strong on the inside down there in the 20 car. Marinak ducks down the inside with him and try and get under Daly and take second spot away. Daly sees his lead evaporate just like that going through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think Daly's probably trying to get some help from Marinak there, see if he can help him down the front stretch, and would have been able to hold the lead with the way this draft works with these guys. But I don't know. I think Marinak's trying to figure out where's his best spot to try to get both of them in one shot.
That would be a Kyle Busch-esque move to make right there. We saw that today with Kyle Busch in the Cup race on TV. He went from, I think it was 4th to 2nd or something like that, in literally a quarter of a lap. Now, I tell you what, this fight for the lead is really heating up because here comes Falkingham down to the inside of the 15 car of Steph Marinak. Falkingham says, you know what? I'm tired of you guys taking all the headlines here. I'm going to try and get up in here and make myself a part of this fight. In the meantime, behind them, Comstock has passed up. Well, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. He's trying to pass up 82 of Coleman. And look at Marinak dives down between the 06 and 39 going into 3. That was a bold move right there. Could have resulted in disaster had somebody hiccup, but they didn't. And Comstock is there now. I mean, I don't even know who to talk about. We got 6 cars vying for the lead up here, Gael.
This is a very exciting leading group right here. We've got the top 8 all right up together. I think Cody Welch and Justin Fuller are just gonna maybe we'll see, hang back and see how it shakes out. But we've been proven wrong there earlier.
Yeah, there's no hanging back here. I don't know if they know something we don't know or what, but these guys are fighting, like you said earlier, like it's the last lap. Daly gets a draft help from Marinak on the outside, ducks down in front of Coleman for the lead through 3 and 4, and now everybody's down the outside lane, leading Marinak out to dry on that high line. Daly moves back up to the high line, come off of 4, ducks back down low, give the lead to Daly this time in a substantial lead, I might add. He's got about a car length and a half on everybody there, so he will at least maintain his lead for a little while. Again, down the inside, here comes Coleman in that 20 car looking to work his way back up to second, past the 15 of Steph Marinak, and behind them, here comes Falkingham.
Yeah, it's something when a car and a half is a significant lead right now. It tells you how close these guys have been running together, and I don't think they're done. I think Marinak's got a pretty good car under him. It looks like he's trying to get there as well, just trying to get to that outside corner, maybe stall out the 06. I'm not sure, but I think he's going for it here still.
Well, we're at that point right now in the run. 19 laps since they've pitted. This is where the tires really start to give up a little bit. But again, the track temperature is only 79 degrees, so there's a little bit extra grip out there than it would be if it was, say, broad daylight with 121-degree track temperature. But here we go. Look at this, 3 wide almost, going down into 3, a fight for the lead. It looks like Marinak's got his eyes on it. He wants to get right up on the side and draft off of the 06 of Byron Daly coming down the backstretch between 1 and 2. I'm sorry, I got my turns crossed up a minute ago there. In the meantime, up high, Falkingham. Oh, what a move! He went from the outside to the inside, makes it 3 wide and 3. Probably scared the hell out of Coleman in that 20 car right there.
Oh,
we
no,
got a
Comstock.
spin. Comstock got tapped. He saves it, but behind him there is chaos and huge mess.
Yeah, but looks like entering 3, I'm going to have to guess Comstock got a little bit of help there.
We're going to pull this replay. I got so tongue-tied right there. We're going to pull this replay up and see what happened here. It looks like it started between the 5 of Comstock and Fuller in that 5 car. And I'm going to be honest and call this the way I see it. They were 3 wide in a spot where you cannot pull 3 wide off very easily. And Fuller and Comstock got together. I'm not going to say who came up into whom or who came down to whom, but that's where it started. And when the 5 car of Justin Fuller checked up to avoid Comstock and let him get himself gathered back up, he got run into the backup by Cody Welch in the 85 car. And then the 30 car was involved. Scott Silman in the 12 car was involved. Dwayne Benson, the 13. Joey Jatina, a hell of a hard hit on a 30 car. A lot of fast cars involved in this accident. So, folks, we're going to take just a really quick commercial break. Let these guys get all gathered back up and see where this shakes out at. But like I said, we had a lot of great cars involved in this. And, of course, we're probably going to see pit stops right now. So we're going to come back in a couple of seconds here after these pit stops and give you a shakedown on who finishes where. We'll be right back on the Sim Racing Network.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
And welcome back to Auto Club Speedway. As you folks can see, the pace cars' lights are off. They're stacking them back up 2 by 2. And Gael, I don't know if I have enough air in my lungs to cover this next restart if it's anything like that last one.
That was exciting, to say the least. I'll say, unfortunately, it got a little too exciting for some of those involved. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of fast cars that are just going to try to make a best day out of a bad one. But at the same time, though, there's been some cars that are definitely taking advantage from this.
Absolutely. Some of the cars we were looking at under the break, Cody Welch, 85, he was a fast car early on. He's got severe damage now, so I don't think he's going to be a part of the equation anymore. But in the meantime, back up front, all the leaders made pit stops. No real incidences or anything like that on the pits, no mistakes. So Falkingham is still your leader. Steph Marinac second, Byron Daly third, Chad Coleman fourth, and Chad Cole rounds out your top 5. The rest of your field scroll by on the bottom. Folks, we're about to go back to green here. They're coming through 3 and 4 now. I wonder what kind of mind games we're going to see from Falkingham on this start, Gael. What do you think?
I'll say it's been Coleman the whole time so far, and he's actually waited a long time, so I'm wondering, Falkingham might try to go early here and throw him off a little bit.
Well, we're about to find out as they come through 4 right now, exit on 4. That pace cars make that hard left turn right there. There he goes. And here we go, folks. The green flag is back in the air. Falkingham didn't waste any time right there. He wanted to get himself out as far away from everybody as he could. So coming across the line right there, he's got about a 2.5 lead car length. Meantime, on the inside, you see the 06 of Daly sweeps back up to the outside, put him to second spot. But down there on the inside is Chad Coleman in that 20 car, trying to take that spot away from Marinac on the outside in the 15.
Yep, he definitely went early, and it worked. I mean, he got a good jump there, and like you said, he's got a couple car lengths. So it's probably the biggest lead we've seen pretty much all day.
We'll see how that lasts now. We did some math. We did some calculations.
It looks like Chad Cole got clipped by the
back up onto the track. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's going to be a rough one.
That was a huge impact. Chad Cole in the 82 car. I didn't see what instigated that, but he just shot a hard left down through the grass. I see what happened there.
It looks like Josh Parker in the 23 went.
Yep. He looks like Chad Cole went to come down. I don't know why I say he was trying to throw a block maybe on the 23, but maybe even net could right there. It looked like
looks like 23 just, I don't know if misjudged or if brand new tires like we talked about earlier. They're trying to get everything they could, and they may have tried to get a little bit too much there, and unfortunately got some more fast cars out of this one early.
I'll tell you what, that's unfortunate to see, man. That didn't just affect the 23 and the 82. That took out a bunch of people behind them that were involved in that. And, that's just really unfortunate driving right there. Let's see, that got the 8 car once again involved of Yoakum. Dan Denaire, he was looking to have a better run, but here he is once again caught up in somebody else's mess. He was involved in it. Several other cars, and here we are again, Gael, under caution when we didn't really need to have to be.
Nope, it's not ideal. I'll say, unfortunately, the whole caution breed caution thing, it holds some weight to it. But I'm thinking though, with the cautions and when I say where we are now, I believe they might be able to go on fuel here to the rest of the way. So obviously, if there's yellows, there'll be some tires involved. But I don't think we're going to have the fuel strategy like we talked about.
Probably not. I don't think we will either. The fuel strategy, I think, is out the window. Now I think it's going to be a game of tire management, and we all know one name comes to mind when we talk about tire management, and that's the 42 of David Comstock, who finds himself in 5th place right now. Well, here we come through 3 and 4, and we're going to see if anybody is going to be a taker down here on pit road as they come by this time by, and we'll see what happens. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Yep, I wasn't live. That's my apologies. I was still in replay mode there. They're on the backstretch, so I'm not sure if pit road was already open or not there, Gael.
Yeah, I don't think there's any takers. Just the guys who need to fix some more damage, it looks like. Steve Herring, I believe, and Tommy Ryan, Dwayne Vincent, and Brian Chambers, it looks like. So most ones towards the back, and also those who were involved in it trying to get some damage fixed. But I don't think any of the front runners came in on this time.
I tell you what, the Auto Club is not usually a track known for creating a junkyard out of the starting lineup, but that's where we're headed right now. We've got a bunch of formerly fast cars that are out now, damaged cars. Josh Parker has pulled his car behind the wall. He's done. Let's see who else here. We've got Brian Macklin. He's pulled his car behind the wall. Mike Grandy's pulled his car behind the wall. Gillenwater, he's out. So that's a lot of good cars. So what we're going to do now is take a talk, if we can, to our leader who's currently sitting up front. Our leader of the race, Daniel Falkingham. Hey, buddy, this is John up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, buddy, you have found yourself at the top of this dog pile. A lot of fighting and clawing to get there. How you feeling in your car?
It feels pretty good compared to everyone else. I mean, especially these late night conditions, the car is pretty tight, but it's all about trying to get a good arc and try and hold that white line without, clipping it, especially in 1 and 2, because you get really sideways. So I feel like right now track position is going to be key, because I don't know if we're starting to move into that stage where we're starting to get a lot of yellows, but yeah, it was vital for me to get the lead there. I will admit I was pretty excited going into 3 when I made that gutsy move across a Coleman nose and going 3 wide into 3. It was pretty gutsy, but yeah, I kind of got excited there, but we're up in the lead, so see if we can hang on to it.
That was a crazy move, to say the least. You definitely got our attention up here in the booth. Well, buddy, you've moved up from 22nd to 1st, and we're looking forward to you maybe keeping your fight up for this lead and maintain that lead. Good luck.
Yep, thank you, John.
And that was our current race leader, Daniel Falkingham, remarking on his really brave move there. He cut high down to low to try and get down to that inside of turn 3 there, Gael, which was definitely an eye-catching move.
Yeah, so he commented on that. He got excited about it. No, I was laughing myself. I was like, yeah, you weren't the only one who got excited about that move.
A lot of people got excited about that move. But, man, we got a lot of damaged race cars on track right now. And if this thing goes green for the next, I don't even know how many laps we got left. The next 33 laps, these damaged race cars could provide moving obstacles for our leaders there, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, but I think with the groove being as low as it is here, I think there's a good chance that they'll probably just run the top there, and it'll help everybody out to get through. But you never know. I say hopefully nobody's mad at anybody else from earlier in the race. You wouldn't want to see anything like that. I don't think that will happen, though, I have to say.
Now, folks, we're not saying anybody was angry at anybody for anything and did something on purpose. We're just saying hopefully tempers are in check. Well, folks, don't forget that you can view us on our triple threat of viewing. We have an account on Facebook Live. We've got YouTube. We've got Twitch. Just do a search for the Sim Racing Network. Give us a like. Give us a follow. You'll get notifications of when we go live so you can see all the exciting action throughout all the series that we broadcast. We do Xfinity series twice a week with the Sim500 guys. Cup series on Monday nights. We got a short track series for the Sarah guys over on Thursday nights. So you got your fill of any kind of racing you want to see. Starting next week, we'll have a truck series even on Wednesday nights. WCI Parts Truck Series over here for the Sim500 guys. I'm hoping to be able to participate in that, so I don't know if I'll be up in the booth for that one or not. But make sure you tune in anyway and watch all the exciting fun from that truck series. Lights are off on our pace car, Gael. We're 2x2 coming through 3 and 4. Why don't you take us back to green, my friend?
I'll give it a shot. I apologize in advance to everybody, but so Daniel Falkingham's going to lead him pace car lead him off, and then Daniel Falkingham's going to have control of it. He went early last time. Looks like he's taking a little longer this time, and there he goes. Not as big of a lead as he got before, so we'll see if Byron Daly can hang on to him and see how they're able to work it out here. But so far they got single file up front, but we got Steph Marinac and Chad Coleman here side by side for third.
And somebody up in the top 5 we haven't talked a whole lot about, that 41 car, EJ O'Rourke. He's got his nose up in there in the fight for third now. Saw a little bit of wheel spin on the 06, and it looked like maybe it slowed a couple cars up behind him. Didn't slow him down, though, but I tell you what, we got one hell of a fight going on for third between the 15 of Steph Marinac and 20 of Chad Coleman. And like I said, EJ O'Rourke back there in 5th place now. EJ started 17th on the field, and he's worked his way up to a top 5.
Yeah, he's had a pretty quiet night so far, but I think he was just biding his time, waiting for. He might have kind of expected what's gone on early on here, so we'll see. I say he's working that top though.
That's normally a super speedway MO, you know, riding them back, let all the wrecks happen, then be there at the end of the race. But it's it's now an applicable attitude to have here at Auto Club Speedway. In the meantime, whoa, look at that. I don't know if O'Rourke got out of shape or if he meant to duck down low like that, but he's shot hard left coming off of 2. Loses 1 spot, maybe 2. Comstock's going to get behind. And that 18 car on the outside, somebody we haven't talked a whole lot about, Ryan Cole Wilson, the 18 car. I'm sorry, that's not him. I'm looking at this.
Oh, we got Rick Thompson there in the 76.
76. I don't even know where I got 18 from. My apologies, folks. I'm old and blind. That's my excuse. I'm sticking with it.
So they've definitely got single file here up front, though. Say the first looks like top 10 or so, kind of just got square, and then but from Chris Jabou. No, Gabo. One of these days I'm gonna get that one right. I'm sorry, guys.
I didn't get that one right for almost 3 months, so don't worry about it.
But yeah, no, they're kind of stringing out pretty early. I wonder if those couple cautions in a row, maybe like, all right, let's take it easy here. Let's get to the end. So we'll see how this plays out, because I think they're looking a little calmer for the moment.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I have to agree with you. Maybe they're just trying, you know, make sure this race goes green for the rest of the way and give maybe some tire strategy a play here, because definitely Byron Daly is a lot less aggressive at this moment than we saw him before that last yellow flag. Falkingham, he doesn't have to worry about being aggressive. He's got clean air on his nose, so he can just drive his line and do what he needs to do to stay in the lead. But yeah, we saw a lot more aggression, I believe, in that last run before that caution that we are seeing right now. And you got to think, like you said, that maybe these guys are just trying to take it easy and make sure they all get to the checkered flag instead of, you know, on the record.
Yeah, I'd say they're looking still pretty calm there. I'd say we've got the Scott Simley, and we've got, who is that? Eric Arnold, I believe. They're battling for position there for 14th. Nope, 12th. But, ooh, it's looking close right there as well.
Looks like Hightower in the 22. He's got his sights set on taking the 8th place away from the 05 of Wilson. Wilson fights back on the outside. In the meantime, back behind these two, Mike Kelly is up a little ahead there in the 2 car at Pennzoil livery there. And behind him, the Hitman Racewear sponsored number 1 car, Chris Gabo, has kind of made a comeback here. He fell back. He was up front for a little while fighting, you know, in the top 5 and fell back. Now he's up here in the 11th spot, but down to his inside is that beat-up car of Eric Arnold in 31. He's trying to kind of work his way back up to front. He's got a lot of nose damage on that car, though. I'm not sure how it's going to affect him for the rest of the night. But he does take that spot away from Chris Cabot. Behind Chris, though, Scott Simley in that beat-up 12. We see a lot of damaged cars really now working their way up front. Now, I'm looking at the 10 car, and surprisingly enough, even though he went through one of those cars in earlier wrecks, he has no damage, so he got a little bit of internet luck there. He still looks like he's in one piece from 14th right there. Meantime, back up front, folks, we got Falkingham out to about a 3/100th of a second, I'm sorry, 3/10 of a second lead over Byron Daly in second. But that third place fight is really starting to heat up back there between Chad Coleman, and it looks like Steph Marinac and even Dave Comstock wants a piece of that.
Yeah, so they might need to think about working together, though, because I think that's going to let Falkingham get away, because he is quick right now. So he's been running some of the faster laps of the race right now. I'd say they're already, though, just over half a second off their fastest laps of the race, so it tells you how quick these tires do wear out, though. So I don't know about if there's any more yells. Pit strategy could come into play.
I'm watching some of these cars duck down below that white line with their left side tires. In the old days, that was a bad idea. That would get you loose in a hurry. But I'm guessing with this new model and the new build, it helps turn that car. This time by Chad Coleman, turning the fastest lap of 41.464. So they are dropping off a little bit, but not too much from when they went back to green. We're at lap 55 this time by. It's 26 laps to go. And we'll start seeing some of these tires start to wear off here pretty soon. That's 16 laps on green so far.
Yeah, Coleman made a big gain there, like you said, over a 10th on Byron Daly, and you could see it visually. He was right, gained a lot of time on him right there. But I think a lot of it might be also the drafting help, because you've got Marinac right on him, pushing him down the tri-oval.
Absolutely. The drafting definitely comes into effect here on these bigger super speedways. People are like, well, yeah, drafting's a thing that you see on the On Talent, no. You can see it on these big 2-mile tracks also. That time by, it looks like our fastest lap was Marinac, but again, he's tucked right up underneath Coleman's bumper. Yeah, I do believe you're right. The drafting is definitely helping these guys as far as lap times go. In the meantime, Falkingham has lost about a tenth to Byron Daly in second place, and you can visually see Daly definitely reeling in Falkingham, our leader.
Yeah, I'd say they're still running single file, but it's getting a little bit tighter, and a little bit further back, though, you've got Ryan Cole Wilson in the 05. There's a big cluster right behind them. They're working hard to see who's the fastest of that group right there, probably trying to catch up to that lead pack.
I got to kind of wonder, we know Daly can be a little bit more aggressive than he's showing right now. Is he waiting, you think, biding his time, getting down to maybe 10 laps to go before he starts showing that aggression that we saw earlier?
Yeah, I think he was saving his stuff a little bit, as it looks like actually he's coming back on Falkingham now. He's pretty much to his back bumper, so I think he maybe just was biding his time just a little bit, and then now he's going to see what he can do with them.
Maybe put some heat on Falkingham and see how he reacts to it. You know, that's a big part of racing is if you can get up in that guy's bumper, up on his mirror, and make him a little nervous, make him make a mental mistake, it makes your job of passing him that much easier. Well, here we go down the front stretch, and boy, Daly got a hell of a run coming off of 4 that time. Pulls right up to the bumper of Falkingham, going down into 1 and 2. And looks like he got out of the gas a little bit sooner than Falkingham didn't drive down as hard, but he gets a little bit better of a run off of 2 right there, Gael. And looks like he might have something for our leader coming up.
Yeah, it's like you're talking about, running that second groove. He's getting that really nice exit on the backstretch. And like you said, he closes right up to him there. And like I said, last lap, he was the fastest car on the track there. So I think he was saving some stuff here for this last run.
Look at that. I love that line he's running right there. That's like my favorite spot to run on the track, especially when these tires start to get a little bit older. You just got to be careful not to let the car slide too much on exit of 4 right there. And by that, what I mean is you don't fight that wheel too much because that'll slow you down. Look at this move on the outside. Falkingham thought about going up and throwing the block, but he was too late in it. And down into 1 and 2 here, we got him side by side almost. But look at this. I bet Daly, he's going to pull up alongside Falkingham on exit of 2. And if he gets a good run down this backstretch, which he should. Oh, look at that. Oh, Falkingham.
Close.
Wow, you could not have slid a piece of paper between the bumpers of those 2 cars right there. So Daly ducks down the inside, ducks back up to the outside, maybe get behind Falkingham one more time, try to build that speed back up. But I'll tell you what, that was a risky move on the part of Daniel Falkingham.
Yeah, I think Byron Daly's goal right there is try to get his spotter to say he was there and kind of just get him to blink. But I don't know if the spotter said anything or if he trusted his mirror a little bit more. But that was very close.
I couldn't. You can't get much closer than that and not have a wreck. But I think Daly realizes right now that Falkingham's not just going to roll over. So he's going to drop back a little bit, gather his thoughts, and see about maybe a better place to try and make that pass. Gets right up on that back bumper coming down the backstretch, peeks down to the inside going into 3, but doesn't actually go to the inside. Maintains that middle of the high line we saw. In the meantime, Falkingham dips his left side down underneath that white line, like we talked about earlier. It helps that car turn just a little bit more going through 3 and 4.
Yeah, but they're starting to move around a little bit. Looks like, nope, he's falling back in line. I was going to say, it looked like he might try to make a run on the bottom there, but I think it looks like to me he really wants to pass him on the top.
I think so, but I also think he's trying to figure out how to best use the draft effect that we were talking about a few laps ago to help him get a run on Falkingham. That seems to be the best way to pass people in the later stages of these runs. I noticed that in myself in the races I ran this week, using the drafting help to really get a run on these guys. And here we go, down in 3 and 4. Daly ducks down the inside, and he's going to try and push that envelope of traction, I guess you could say, try to make it stick, and he doesn't lose any ground, but almost drifts up into Falkingham. Give the lead this time by to Byron Daly, but only by a hair.
1/1000th of a second, I believe.
I mean, it's really close. Look at that. He just sends it down into 1 right there. Let's see if he can make it stick and keep that lead ahead of Falkingham. And he does. He slides back up the track in front of that 39 of Falkingham, right on his bumper. Again, there is absolutely zero space between those 2 cars. Going down the backstretch into 3 right here. Daly has the lead, but Falkingham's right there trying to take it back.
Yeah, I was like you said, I think he may have returned the favor on that little slide up. He's like, well, you did that to me, I can slide up too. But here comes Falkingham coming right back at him off of 4.
Look at that run he gets coming down the front stretch. He's got a little bit of help down there on the inside as far as draft goes. The 20 car moves himself into 3rd right past Marinac. And boy, the 39 sent that car down into turn one. But look at the line that Daly runs right there. He's got his left sides just below that first seam up. That's the best place to run this car this long in the race. And look at that momentum he gains going down the backstretch. We talked about it earlier, Gael. Momentum is everything this late in the run in California.
Oh yeah, and a lot of, you need help here to pass, like you mentioned for the plate races. Like, it's not a plate race, but if you're in a big group like this, if you just drop low on somebody, you're not going to get it done by yourself. And that's where I think they're trying to find where the people behind them are too. That way, and that's why they were so close off of 4 when they were battling side by side there.
Absolutely. We have less than a half a second between first and fifth right now. That's how close this field is right now. In the meantime, back to the rear of the field, you don't even see really a fight for any kind of position until way back there in about 15th or 16th. But back up front, I don't know what happened to Coleman, but he pulled down, and it looks like he's going to give that spot to Marinak on the outside. And look who's lurking back there in fifth. Dave Comstock just hanging out back there, waiting for these laps to wind down. Coming across the line this time by will be lap 65, Gael. We've got 26 laps to go. This is about the time we normally see Comstock start moving to the front.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of biding his time like we've been talking about. I'd say I'm sure everybody's tired of us talking about him except for his fan club, but I don't know. I mean, I think, like I said, these guys have been fighting really hard, and this whole time he's just been kind of cruising. So yeah, it'll be interesting seeing the next 5-10 laps and see if he starts pulling up on these guys.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, that time by Byron Daly was actually the fastest car on track, our leader, 42.311 speed. That's a huge fall off from when they went back to green as far as lap times go, but that's to be expected. They've now been on track for 26 laps on this set of tires. And I tell you what, this is about the time those tires start screaming at you and getting real slick. So you got to be careful how much input you put on that steering wheel when these tires get like this.
Yeah, and that's, I was saying, especially when you start fighting and you worry about that more than what's going on around you, and that's where you can find some trouble. Just getting a little bit too hot, pushes up, and you'll catch a wall on the exit one of these turns. But so far, the guys up front have been doing a really good job of just kind of staying off the wall.
Well, it looks like Daly and Falkingham have put a bit of a gap between themselves and Marinak back there in third. Coleman fourth, David Comstock fifth. The rest of your field scroll by, folks, but the top five hasn't changed a whole lot since we went back to green. They maybe swapped spots here and there, but it's been the same five up front. O'Rourke in sixth place. He was part of this fight for a while, but he's faded back a little over a second back behind these guys up front. But I tell you what, who we have not talked to hardly at all tonight was the 76 car, Rick Thompson. He fought his way up in the top 10 from starting 19th, excuse me. That's a pretty good run for him. Back there in 10th is Eric Arnold, somebody we thought might be retiring because of damage to his car. Looks like he got it fixed enough to get himself into the top 10. But, man, what a race we've got so far, Gael. And here we are, lap 67, coming around through turns 3 and 4 to take 68. And pretty soon it'll be 10 to go.
Yeah, I say once they start rolling green, it starts going pretty quick. I say especially when you have a battle like they were going there. I don't know, that 5 laps or so they were going at it back and forth, like just kind of blinked by for me. So yeah, we'll see how they go. They'll say almost 10, not quite 10 to go, but they're getting close.
I mean, what I find impressive is the fact that these guys have all kept their emotions in check on this last start. I mean, like we covered this on the restart. They were super aggressive. Everybody in the top 10 was super aggressive for that last run. Some of the best racing we've seen all night was in that last run before the last caution we had. And now these guys are just kind of a little tame right now, just kind of taking care of their stuff, make sure they get to the end. But like I said, here we are through 3 and 4 this time. Or is that 1 and 2? My turn around again. That's 3 and 4. Yeah.
Yeah, we're 3 and 4. And I was saying, I saw Comstock. He was down on the apron. I think further than I've seen anybody. He had, I think, over half his car down on the apron. So he might be trying to find a line here to get by Coleman in front of him.
Well, that's what Comstock does. Once we start getting down to the end of this race, he starts looking for the faster line to try and gain as much ground as quickly as he can on the guys in front of him. And it looks like he's getting to that point where he's ready to start making that move.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lap times, and those top 5 are all within a tenth of each other, from a 480 to a 546. So, I mean, yeah, it's one of those throw a blanket on them right now. So it's see if anybody's saving their stuff for that last dash, or if they're all just giving it all they're worth right now. It's hard to say.
Well, this time by the flag, everybody ducks down to the inside, except for our leader up there, Daly. He stays to the outside there and doesn't lose hardly any ground at all, with Falkingham behind him. but it allows this accordion effect where these guys all kind of bunch up going through turns 1 and 2 back onto the backstretch there. And this time by, they're on lap, like I said, lap 70 this time by on the backstretch. When they come around this time, be 10 laps to go. This is the time to move, time to make some spots up. And if you've got if you think you've got a car that can take the lead away from that 06, then get up there and do it.
Yeah, like you said, they're kind of according back and forth. There's been a few times where it looked like Falkham was ready to get right back on him, and then just one bad turn, and he has to lose a couple car lengths, and he has to build it all right back up again. But yeah, they are all running these pretty much the same identical laps right now. I think they're just trying to not bide their time, but just hoping to get someone else to pressure into a mistake at this point.
Well, here we are, 10 laps to go, folks. And out of the top 5, here's an interesting fact. Out of the top 5, 3 of these drivers have already won a race this season in this series. That's going to be, not Comstock, Byron Daly, Steph Marinac. And your third final winner will be Falkingham. Like I said, he won the opener at Daytona. So 3 out of the top 5 are previous winners in this season, in this series so far. Comstock's been a winner across other series, as has Falkingham and Daly and Coleman and Cole. So all these top 5 are really the cream of the crop of the Sim500 when you stop and look at the races they've run and the races they've won. So we're going to see some interesting things happen here. But look, we have a fight for the lead up front. We knew it was going to happen soon, folks, and here it is. Falkingham has gotten tired of seeing that back bumper of Byron Daly in the 06. And, well, I thought he was making a fight for it. He got right up on him going through 1 and 2, but he lost a little bit of ground coming off the 2. Got a bad exit there.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to have to look at that, doing that outside line like Daly's doing, but at the same time, you can't just follow him. So I think it's that momentum that we need to look for, but you got a really good exit off of 4 right there.
He got a great exit off of 4, but look at that. He's gonna get the 06 pulled down in front of him, kind of like block his momentum a little bit. Another thing is when you get right up on the bumper like he is right there, your car gets a little bit more tighter than you want it to be. So he's going to have to figure out a way to keep his momentum and keep his momentum moving forward, but at the same time, not get too tight to where he has to back off the throttle like he did right there on 2.
Yeah, he was working. I'll say he was right on the white line there, and that's you, especially 1 and 2. Like you can get away with on the apron in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2, you do not want to ride that white line. So he's trying to get every inch he can here.
Absolutely, and it's making. I'm sure Daly's looking in his mirror like, where the hell is this guy going to go? Where am I going to put my car to block his momentum and slow him down? Well, that's it right there. Lap 74 at the line right there. We've got about 7 laps to go, and it's heating up front.
Yeah, it looks like they've kind of spread out a little bit behind him. I don't know if Comstock's got what he needs tonight, but these top 2 and top 3 really are right on top of each other. So it could be anyone's race. Just depends on what happens. If anybody just gets off that groove by an inch, really.
You know, I just had a weird thought, and it's a weird thought to have this late in the race, but somebody we haven't seen in a very long time in this series is Steve Sheehan. He used to be fun to watch, too, man. He was another one like Comstock, was known for being around at the end of the race and being one of the stronger cars. I'm just wondering whatever happened to him. Sorry if I digress like that, Gael. It's how my mind works. But my producer just whispered in my ear that maybe Sheehan might come back for the truck series. I hope so. I would love to race against somebody like that. But in the meantime, back up front, lap 75 right there. We're coming around the back stretch here. Next time by will be 5 to go. And I just don't think Falkingham or Marinac have what it takes to get by the 06 car of Byron Daly.
It's going to be tough, and I think that's what they're looking at right now is finding that line to do. Like, just saw Falkingham take a late entry into 3 to try to get a really nice exit off 4, but I think Byron Daly's just hitting his marks perfectly right now, and I think it's just going to make their job that much more difficult than it already is.
I absolutely agree with you right there, folks. 5 laps to go this time by. They've taken the 5 lap to go wave, and like I said, I just think Daly is the class of the act right now. Class of the act, class of the field is what I meant to say. He took care of his tires early on there, didn't get super aggressive like we saw earlier, and he's actually gapped a little bit bigger of a gap there between himself and second place with Daniel Falkingham. Our top 5 has not changed at all in these last 20 laps. It's still Daly, Falkingham, Marinac, Coleman, and Comstock. However, O'Rourke has pulled up a little bit closer, but I don't think he's going to catch this top 5 at all. He's just a tick under 1.2 seconds back right there in 6th place. So, you're kidding me. We got a caution on track.
That's good news for Byron Daly. That'll do it. Look back,
Let's
see what
we can
happened here.
Figure out what happened here.
Looks like there's a contact between the 98 of Steve Herring and the 05 Ryan Cole Wilson.
Yep, I see that right there, and he came. He almost had it saved, but he bounced off that 13 car and went nose first into the wall, and that is probably going to do it for him. But bigger question still: will we go back to green? And if we do, oh my goodness, what kind of a restart do you think we'll see?
Well, I'll say if it goes green, we talked about the tire strategy. I think that's out the window. I don't think anybody's going to want to risk pitting just because of how important track position is. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't even think.
I don't think we're going to get it though.
Now the leaders haven't even caught the pace car yet, and we just crossed the line for lap 78. So that's probably going to do it right there, folks. We're going to confirm that. Yeah, that's definitely going to do it. That's going to be the end of this race. So we're going to give that win to Byron Daly up front. Second place will be Daniel Falkingham. Third will be Steph Marinac. Fourth, Chad Coleman. Fifth, David Comstock. The rest of your top 10 and the rest of the field, for that matter, will scroll by on the bottom of your screen. We're going to take a real quick break. When we come back for the end of this race, we'll get you an interview with the top 3, and we'll update the point standings if we can, at least give you a rundown of who's where. We'll be right back with this commercial break. Make sure you come back and catch those interviews.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
And welcome back to the Auto Club Speedway out in sunny, well, not so sunny right now, California. It's 9 o'clock at night out there, according to the iRacing clock. We are concluding this race, and it looks like Byron Daly's going to bring home that checkered flag there, Gael. All that aggressiveness paid off for him this time.
Yeah, say once he was able to get into that clean air, he was able to hold off Daniel Falkingham, and Steph Marinac was definitely working hard there to keep up with them. But yeah, he did what he needed to do there at the end, and so I was actually thinking Falkingham had that race in control until he got back by him.
Yeah, I was just laughing at Comstock taking some aggression out on the poor blue cone back there.
I saw that. Yeah, I
a little frustrated with his run there. He killed that damn blue cone. But I'll tell you what, this was a great race to watch. You know, the closing laps were just a bit of a snooze, but man, that intermediate run where we saw, you know, literally 5 or 6 cars fighting for the lead for several laps was amazing to watch.
No, that was quite intense watching those guys go after us. Unfortunately, they got a little too rowdy, you could say. But I mean, when you've got that many cars and kind of everybody's going for the same spot, and so I think it just kind of singled out where you didn't have as many of the fast cars up front, and they were able to stretch their legs a little bit.
I'll tell you what, this was such a fun one to broadcast, though it really was. And you saw right there, Falkingham gave a little love tap to Daly there, say, hey, congratulations on your win. That's what I love about these guys at Sim500. It's a lot of sportsmanship going on here, and mostly respect. Sometimes things get a little heated, but that's any racing venture, really. In real life or sim racing, you'll have some tempers every once in a while. But I'll tell you what, Daly in that 06 car, this is going to be, I believe, his third race win of the season in this series. Going to give himself a hell of a points lead.
Yeah, so you got to get him when you can, and I'll say he's been on a roll lately, so I don't know what to say, honestly, as he goes for an impressive donut here down the front stretch.
But my producer and I are discussing stats of Mr. Daly. Quite the burnout he's got going on there. He needs to get up a paint job on that damn car, man.
I think he should be finding some sponsors here after the wins that he's been getting lately and the performances he's putting in.
I'm guessing those must be his teammates down there doing burnouts with him. I guess I don't know what's going on with the 22, celebrating like he is. But let's give a little quick recap right now. Our results unofficial are Byron Daly in first, Daniel Falkingham second, Steph Marinac third, Chad Coleman fourth, David Comstock in fifth, EJ O'Rourke sixth, Jordan Hightower in the 22 seventh, Rick Thompson eighth, Mike Kelly ninth, and Tommy Ryan rounds out your top 10. The rest of the field will scroll by there on your screen. And we are going to try and conduct some interviews for you here, folks. Waiting for our drivers to show up in team speak. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks to me like our third place finisher of Steph Marinac, Gail, you caught up with him down there on pit road, correct?
I do have him here, so I wanted to talk to you, Mr. Marinac. Let us know how you felt your race went there tonight.
It went pretty good. I stayed in the top 10 for most of the race. The setup was really tight, so you had to be really careful with it, but I stayed up in the top 5. I had some pretty good pit stops, and I was kind of catching them there at the end, but I think I was probably a third place car, so I finished right where I should have finished.
Yeah, I was watching those closing laps. You're one of the faster cars behind Daniel and Byron there. I was curious to see if you'd get that run you needed, because it seemed like you just had to be pretty much inch perfect on the bottom line there not to lose any spots at the end.
Yeah, I think I used the car up a little bit passing Chad. But yeah, I saved him pretty good on the first run, so I thought I'd be okay on that last run, but I don't think I saved him quite enough. And but I'm happy with third. I mean, it's a good points night.
Yeah, it was a great run you had. And just see if you had any shout outs or any thank yous you wanted to send to anybody watching from tonight.
Yeah, thanks Joey and everyone at Sim500, and thank you guys for doing the broadcast.
Great run, third place, and look forward to catching you next week.
Thanks.
That was our third place finisher, Steph Marinac, and I'll tell you what, he had not sound like his breath was gone. I believe, though, you've worked your way down pit road and found our second place finisher, Daniel Falkingham, right there.
Yeah, I was able to come across Daniel Falkingham as well, so got to check in with you as well, sir. How do you feel about your race there?
Yeah, I felt really good about the race. Kind of finished where I should have been. I felt good to get up front, lead some laps. I knew Byron was gonna he's quick everywhere we go, so congrats to him on the win. But yeah, it felt good to come. Kind of had a challenge coming from 22nd after I screwed up my qualifying lap. So yeah, so felt good to get through the traffic good enough, and then get up front, lead some laps. And Byron, me and him got to racing, and he just got by me, so I tried to stay back, cool my right front a little bit, cool my tires, because I felt like I wore my right front off a little bit. But then there was times I caught him right back down, but I just just couldn't get past him. Just pretty hard to pass that late in the run. So the only way I was going to get around him is if he just made a mistake, which is kind of rare coming out of Byron Daly. So yeah, congrats to him on the win. Pretty pleased about the race.
Yeah, say we were watching you move your way up from the field from your 22nd starting spot, and you were moving up pretty quick there, getting into the top 10 then top 5. And I was going to ask you, so it sounds like that the tires, you wanted to use them as quick as you could, make the moves there, and then from there kind of everybody was leveling out.
Pretty much, and plus I knew I had a car that was capable of top 5, considering I was running everybody down most of the time, and I knew as we got late in the race, I was getting ready for some yellows. That move when I went into turn 3 wide, kind of ballsy move, if you would say, but yeah, I made the move and caught a break and got the yellow, so that was a lucky break there, and I was pretty much had pretty good track position, and then we had another yellow, and I was hoping we'd get more yellows towards the end of the race, but we didn't. It was a good green flag run at the end, good race overall. Just darn, I finished second to Byron again, so we gotta change that in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that move. I think John was trying to play it off earlier, but yeah, you definitely got him excited there when you made that move for the lead. So that was a very exciting pass that you did there. And like you said, you had the lead there towards the end. It's just Byron Daly's just been killing it lately. So but yeah, I mean, I know you'll keep working on it. And I don't know, what track we at next week?
Actually, we're off next week.
Well, then I've got the wrong answer then. I apologize. But that was a great run, Daniel. Look forward to catching you in another race, and I'll say just let Byron know you owe him one.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I got to thank my sponsors, First Rate Bait, Lobster 207, for all their support. I also got to thank Cameron Coley for painting my car. Got to thank all the admins at Sim500 and everyone who comes out to race. Really fun racing. Also, thank you to Hitman Racewear for sponsoring this series. I think I forgot to mention them last week. Thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Thanks to everyone who watched.
Sounds good. So you've done this. You do this better than I do. I'll have to see about hiring you next time.
Hey.
That was our second place finisher, Daniel Falkingham. Thank you very much, Gael, for that interview. And I'm gonna let you know that I have made my way down to victory lane to do an interview with our winner, Byron Daly, third-time winner this series. Byron, you're looking pretty strong out there, buddy. Talk to me about your race.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun race. I mean, the car is really tight, so it made it a little hard to really get out there and do some slicing and dicing. I know we did a lot out there, but it was pretty scary at the same time. The car just wanted to take off towards the fence, so it's really challenging. But at the end of the day, it's always fun to run out here at Fontana. Kind of sucks this track is so early in the real life schedule. A lot of people only run it this time of year, but it's always fun to run around here. I seem to have a lot of luck here too. I don't know what it is, but whatever race it is, I seem to win.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're looking really strong. You had us a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. You guys in the top 5 had us really nervous up in the booth with all that slicing and dicing you were doing before that second to last caution, where it seemed like every other lap somebody else was leading the race. Why don't you talk to us about that?
Yeah, that was when me and Chad were racing, honestly, we were having a ton of fun just battling each other, and kind of forgot that it's whatever 8-lap race. So getting towards the end of that run, and both our tires were shot. It was actually pretty good that caution came out. But yeah, it was a really exciting fight there at the middle part of the race. I think we all kind of calmed down there with that last run, and things kind of panned out how they did, and worked out in my favor. It sucks the caution came out there when it did, but at the end of the day, I didn't really mind.
I completely understand that. Well, like I said, Byron, this is your third race win here at the Hitman Racewear Series. You are looking really strong. We're off next week, but we're going to Texas the week after that. How do you feel about Texas?
I feel good about Texas. It's one of those tracks like the configuration that's still on the service here. I love to try to get the wall to work, and it's bit me so many times in the past. So I usually knock the right side off it. So if I can kind of keep from doing that, it'll be a good race. And yeah, we'll just keep on trucking. Hopefully we can get another one of these.
Well, do you have anybody you want to thank for your victory tonight?
No, just as always, you guys and Sim500 for putting all this on. It's always fun to come out here and race with good drivers every Sunday night. So it's always a blast.
Well, again, Byron, thank you so much for your. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, your post race interviews would be a little bit longer, probably more interesting if you had a sponsor on the side of that car. What's going on with that?
I just don't have anybody who I don't know. I just don't have anybody to put on there. Like if somebody wants to be on there, sure. I don't mind. It's one of those things that I don't really have anybody to put on there, so I just run a blank car.
Well, I'll tell you what. Not as the announcer over at Sim500, but as the head painter and owner of Raging Cajun Graphics and Wraps, why don't you give me a heads up and a call after this race?
Yeah, we could arrange that.
We'll work something out there, buddy. There you have it, folks. That's your race winner, Byron Daly. His third straight win, but third win here in the Hitman Racewear Series. Looking real strong. He moves up to second in the points. And I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the points real quick. As they stand right now, they've been updated. Falkingham still maintains his lead. But like I said, Byron Daly moves up 2 spots with his third win of the season. Marinac moves up a spot to third. Well, technically, it's a two-way tie between Daly and Marinac for second place. Comstock's fifth in the points, and Fuller maintains his fifth place spot in the points. And like I said there, Gael, we're going to Texas in 2 weeks. That's one of my favorite tracks on the circuit. I say that about a lot of these tracks, and I know I do, but as a guy in South Louisiana who happens to have family from Texas, I like Texas. It's a fun track to drive.
It's a very fun track to drive, and it's also just as challenging. I say, and we mentioned turn 2 here. I think turn 2 there is gonna be the same thing. That wall comes really fast, and I think that's gonna be where kind of everything kind of bottlenecks right there, and so that could be where the action is up here in 2 weeks.
It has always been Calamity Corner right there exiting 2 at Texas. Like you just said, that wall comes out at you in a hurry, and it's a really hard wall with zero give. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've tried to see if I can push the wall out a little further, but it never moves.
No, the wall always wins that conversation. Well, before we sign off, Gael, do you have any final thoughts on the race here at Auto Club Speedway?
I thought it was a great race, like we mentioned. I mean, that mid section where you just had everybody changing for the lead pretty much every other lap there. But I just want to thank you guys for letting me join you guys up here. It was a lot of fun, and like I said, Don Runkle, hope you're getting well soon. Look forward to hearing your voice back up here. But I've definitely enjoyed the challenge and the new aspect of being part of iRacing with watching the racing with Sim500 here.
Well, Gael, I really want to thank you for giving your time to us tonight. It very much appreciated. You did a fantastic job for your first time on the mic, man.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I've got some learning to do, but I'll hit the books and see if I can help out more next time.
Well, folks, don't forget that we are going to be off for this series next weekend, but we have more races to broadcast this week. We have the Trans Service Cup Series tomorrow night. We've got that. I think that's it, actually, for Sim500. Is just the Trans Service Cup Series tomorrow night. They're going to be at Auto Club as well. That should be fun. That's going to be the Cup Series, and if it's anything like what I've seen all week long in the A Open and the A Fix Series, it's going to be one hell of a race to talk about and broadcast. I'll be down in the booth tomorrow. I'm not real sure who's going to be with me just yet. Rumor has it that Mr. Kilcrease might make an appearance. We'll see about that. If not, probably be Gael again. But folks, in the meantime, remember, please be safe out there. Put those phones down when you're driving. There's no sense in getting yourselves or anyone else hurt on the road when you got some place to go. You can always talk or text or watch that crazy Facebook video when you get to your destination. Please remember to smile, love each other a little bit more every week, and remember, God bless all of you. For myself, Gael Brooks, and Aaron Grosskopf down in our production van, I'm John Mustern Jr. for the Sim Racing Network, signing off. God bless.